Hello, welcome back to another live stream. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, people. And yeah, back with another match reaction, another live match reaction, people. But obviously, we didn't win. Of course, we didn't win. Of course, we didn't win. Is anyone surprised? I literally predicted 1-1. You know, it's bad when I get the prediction right. I got it right. West Ham United won. Brighton and Hove Albion won. Yeah, long day. Long day. It's even worse when you actually go to the game. Make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you are new. Trying to hit 1K as soon as possible. And yeah, it's not been a happy new year from the last game before Christmas, but did we expect a happy game? No. We did expect a good performance. We had a good first 20 minutes. I'm too tired to be berating anyone in terms of like the fans that online like try to gaslight anyone into thinking that that was a positive today. If there's anything you take from that that's positive, please get checked. Please get help. Go to your local GP or whatever the fuck it is. Go to your local doctor, your local hospital. Get checked out. I'm tired and tired and tired of talking about the same shit game in, game out. This manager knows he's only going to get sacked if he loses. So he hopes for the draw, home and away. Home and away. Like he's on an Australian TV show. Like Bournemouth away and Brighton at home. He was hoping for the fucking draw. Hoping for the draw. This is what we're on now, yeah? This is what we're on. Hoping for the draw. You've got to be taking the fucking piss. Because any manager that goes out there to put on a sub like Vladimir Sufal to make it a 5 at the back, to have 2 right backs on the pitch in 2 consecutive games, is trying to see out the game. A game that we were never on top in, apart from the first 20 minutes. A game that we never looked like scoring apart from the actual goal we scored, apart from the one attack. Because every other time, we didn't look like scoring. Shock. We didn't look like seeing out the game really anyway. We're kind of lucky we have Wan-Bissaka. Kilman and Tadibo do all they can. Even Emerson does. But for some reason, this guy gets subbed off a lot for a left back. Shout out to Wasim as well. Evening, Mike. That was a painful watch. Big up to yourself, bro. Hope you're doing well. That was very painful. That was bullshit. That was a bullshit performance. But I expect nothing less from Lopetegui's West Ham. I expect nothing less. I'm tired of this shit. But I've been tired of this shit. Like, what am I meant to even say anymore? What am I meant to even expect? Because this is just longing it out. I told you a lot about the ongoing cycle that we are in. And it's going to keep going on. It's going to keep going on. Because every time we're in this position, we go on a run of not winning games, guys. That Wolves game was the one that bailed him out. He bailed himself out, and he's going to bail himself out again against Southampton on Boxing Day. Because we will beat Southampton no matter how shit they are. I mean, yeah, no matter how shit we are, we will beat them because they're even worse. I know it happened against Leicester where the new manager bounced and we lost away from home. I don't think that's going to happen. At least we'll get a draw. We will get a point at least, which is not good enough either. But we won't win against Man City. We won't win against Liverpool. It will actually be even worse if we get a draw than a loss, in my opinion, because it doesn't say anything. It doesn't say that we're going to outperform the team that we're facing, but it's also just disappointed to draw to a team like Southampton. Now, drawing to a team like Brighton isn't bad on the surface of it, but on the back of being 14th, 5 wins, and you just drew to Bournemouth as well, and you're at home. Like, there's so many, like, things I can say to diffuse excuses. There's so many things I can say to diffuse excuses. And once there's more people in here, I'm going to start getting into the tactics and dissecting what the fuck I am watching. Because I don't know why I'm watching what I'm watching. I don't know what this is meant to be. I don't know what building a team in Lopetegui's image really looks like, because I generally don't know how he's made it this far in coaching. I don't know how he's made it this far in coaching. This is one of the worst coaches the Premier League has ever seen, ever. Ever seen, ever. Not just West Ham, ever seen. He's one of the worst managers to grace the Premier League. One of the worst. I'd debatably say top 10. And we've had a lot of bad teams that have, a lot of bad managers that have come up with promoted teams. He's up there with them. Fuck his accolades and fuck his career. This guy is a dog shit manager. He doesn't know how to coach. He doesn't know how to coach from a defensive standpoint or an attacking standpoint. So what the fuck are you? We're just passing side to side. In fact, we're passing side to side. But, Joe, let me just get into the fucking tactics. I've got the lineup. I've got the lineup on the lineup builder app, yeah. I'm going to take you through. I'm going to fucking dissect it myself, yeah. This is the shit I'm seeing, yeah. So this was the lineup, basically, on paper and where everyone was positioned, yeah. This is what we were like. I want to firstly get into possession. So Souček will be here for whatever reason. I don't know why we're using him as a second striker. I'm not going at Souček. More going at the tactics. Emerson is over here. Bowen's around here. Wan-Bissaka's like here. Paquetá is here. And Alvarez will drop in between the centre-backs. So let me tell you something, yeah. Every time we have the ball here, every time Fabianski has the ball, every time these centre-backs and Alvarez pretty much as a third centre-back in this case drops with the ball, there's no one there to receive the ball. No one is going to receive it. So Paquetá's not here. And Souček is all the way in second striker over here. This is the problem we have, yeah? Because the only time that anyone is going to receive the ball in the first phase is Emerson and Wan-Bissaka. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem with this. It's so easy to win the ball back if you are the opposition team. And the only time someone is trying to pass through a team is round the outside. Round the outside on the wings, which is so easy to close down from an angle perspective. Just press them and then go back on their weaker foot. And what do we know about footballers? They don't like using their weaker foot. So Emerson using his right foot, nowhere to be seen. Wan-Bissaka using his left foot, nowhere to be seen. But even when they do get the ball, where's Paquetá? Even a Kudus or Bowen to go receive it here. Even the Thomas Souček to go receive it here. Even the Alvarez to show for the ball around here whilst these midfielders are up, higher up the pitch. Where's Alvarez to come and receive the ball? Where are these players? But guess what? If every player is not going to receive the ball, it's a management issue. Because it's been an issue. The three centre-backs here, they all split. They all split very wide. But the problem is, it goes to Fabianski and it goes long again. Because without Fulkrug, yeah, when we've had games when Fulkrug hasn't played, we've relied on Thomas Souček's height way too much. I actually kind of feel sorry for him. The reason why I feel sorry for him, he's the only one over 6'2", apart from Fulkrug in the side. So all we do is hit along to Thomas Souček for him to win the ball in the air and then flick it on to no one. But now we have two options. All the tactic was today, pass the ball around Alvarez, Mavropanos and Kilman. Get the ball to Fabianski, and this is what happened. Thomas Souček or Nicholas Fulkrug will be around here trying to flick it on to Kudus. And then what? Nothing happens. Because let's go back. Let's go back for just a second. Let's redo the formation again. Let's go back to the back four. Back to the four. Because Souček was basically a second striker at times. Let's say we have the ball down the wing. Let's say it's Bowen here. Wan-Bissaka's on the overlap or whatever. This is what happens. Paquetá will still be here for short, covering his space. Alvarez will still be here. And we only have Fulkrug and Souček in the box. There's only two players in the box. Two players. This was before he went to a back three. This was when he went to a back four in the first half. This is when we were playing the whole 4-2-3-1 stuff. And these two were up front. These two were the only people in the box. Only these two. So if you're the Brighton back four and you see that happen, all you have to do, from your perspective, mark them two players, and then you don't have to be affected by anyone on the edge of the box. There's no Paquetá on the edge of the box. Kudus is on the other side. Bowen's on the other side. Wan-Bissaka's on the wing. Emerson will be higher up the pitch around here somewhere. But let's go back to possession. Let's go back to when we're deep in possession, because it goes to a back three again. It goes to a back three, and in possession, Souček is high up the pitch or whatever because he's been used as a second striker. And let's say we lose the ball, yeah. This is basically what we're dealing with. We're dealing with these kind of four defending. To be honest, Paquetá did a good job in terms of off the ball defending and hard work and all that. We didn't get to see much of him on the ball. But this is the problem. When we get hit on transition, half the time it's Wan-Bissaka covering here, Mavropanos covering here, or Alvarez doing this job, and Mavropanos doing the other job. Alvarez coming up right back. Because the fullbacks are so high up the pitch. We have no legs in midfield, not had anyone since 41 left. Honestly, you're right. Carlos Baliba, as we discussed in the preview as well, Carlos Baliba is just running through the whole midfield. And who do we have in midfield? These three. Look at these three. Let's talk about the midfield. Because at times, yes, I think Souček had a very good second half, by the way. Very good second half. Just from a passing point of view as well. But these three in midfield is not it. This shouldn't be the three in midfield. And what I mean by that is long term, well, we know this guy needs to be upgraded immediately. I still don't see this guy as a starter, and this guy needs to fix up. None of these guys have got the mobility. Souček's a good tackler. Paquetá likes to get stuck in. Alvarez offered some good blocks and tackles today. But they're not mobile. There's no legs, as Wasim said. There's no energy. There's no like Souček can cover ground because he's tall and he's long and whatever, pause. But at the same time, it's not enough because he can't be doing it on his own. He can't do it on his own. But let's talk about in possession again. So let's say Kudus has the ball here. The problem is, Fulkirk will come and receive the ball here. There's no one in the box. There's no one in the box. We tried to use Fulkirk as a battering ram today. We basically use Fulkirk as a BTEC Andy Carroll. We barely give him the ball to feet. And when we did, there was no one around him. Bowen and Kudus are so far away. Everyone's out wide. But who's in the centre? No one. There is a hole in midfield. There is a big hole in midfield. There's nothing in midfield because Alvarez is dropping in between the centre-backs. Paquetá and Souček are all the way up to their centre-backs. So there's just a big gap in midfield. If you're the opposition team in midfield, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. We're coming up against Southampton next. They play a box in midfield, apparently, the manager. He apparently plays a 3-4-2-1. I guess I'll see tomorrow against Fulham. But that's going to be even worse, trying to break down and try to defend against. He'll probably go to a 3 at the back to match them up, which I'm kind of sick of seeing managers do. Have a game plan of your own to test the opponent. Not worrying about the opponent. Try to test yourself. I thought Alvarez played well, shielded the backline, but he has no legs. I think he did well off the ball. I think on the ball he was still shaky. I'm not even trying to single him out. It's just everyone offered something good, everyone offered something bad, apart from Mavropanos and Sufo, because they were just bad. Souček played, like I said, in the first 30 minutes, leaving gaping space behind him, which they exploited. Yeah, I don't get why the manager instructs Souček to be the second striker. I get he has a goal in him, but he's a box-to-box midfielder. One of his main attributes is tackling, even over his goal scoring. Is his ability to cover ground and even at times cover the wide spaces, even though he's not the most mobile, and he comes up against some mobile 10 that may run up against him. But I don't get using him as a number 10 because all you're doing is using him as an old school Kevin Nolan Kevin Nolan had a bit more footballing IQ than Thomas Souček did. It's just Souček's way more of a defensive player. He's not Fellaini. I know he gets a lot of comparisons to Fellaini. He's not a Fellaini. He's not. He's a box-to-box midfielder. Fellaini was better as a second striker. Souček's not a second striker. And putting Fulkirk and Souček next to each other, what the fuck are you doing? The whole point of why a front two works in the first place is because they have a big man and a little man. Or two people to work with each other that offer different things. So if you really want to play long ball football, you're not doing that right either. Because we're passing the ball sideways, trying to keep the ball, and then all of a sudden we would just want to put the ball in the air for no reason. Put the ball in the air for what? For what exactly? What are we putting the ball in the air for? Because when the first header is won, we don't win any second duels. We never win second duels. I'm kind of tired of talking about it. I'm very tired of talking about it. Fulcrum was totally isolated. Bearer's impact sub. The thing is, as I said, like, barely gets the ball. Why do strikers barely get the ball in West Ham United? Like, big up to Tony as well. Hope you're doing well, bro. Hope you're doing well. Like, this is my thing, yeah. Any striker that plays up front for West Ham doesn't really get the service unless you're Mikel Antonio, because you work down the channels, you offer yourself out on the channels, trying to work the spaces out wide. Any striker that wants to stay in the middle doesn't get the ball. The few times he did get the ball, he didn't do well with it. But he didn't get the ball that much. The one things I'll judge about Fulcrum, the needless pass to Bowen, the diagonal that he didn't need to do, and the one layoff that he should have got right. But regardless of his whole performance as a package, we didn't get to see anything. We didn't get to see anything. We didn't get to see anything when he came on against Bournemouth either. Really, like, apart from the header, I don't even think Fulcrum had a shot today. I could be wrong, but I don't remember him having a shot. But that says more about the service than it does about him, which is why I defended Skamaka at this club, which is why I defended Haller at this club. Because it's not usually the player, especially when it's a decent player. We don't set up for these strikers. We just shoehorn them in. And yes, it's the same formation, but it's a different style of play. But I don't know what the fuck this style of play is. I don't know what this style of play is. It feels like just keeping the ball for the sake of it, or putting the ball in the air for the sake of it, losing your duel, and getting hit on a turnover. Brighton was shocking as well. They were shocking in the first half. They should have put a couple chances away. Was out most of the day, but hearing the pundits after even they agreed that Fulcrum should have started at least too slow compared to our attacking players. Yeah, in terms of that, like, I agree. Like, when Somerville came on, we just had 3 players running at them for a bit, but we didn't even use that properly. For me, my problem is, like, Fulcrum can work in this starting 11. Fulcrum shouldn't have started today. I was a bit like already ready to start today. I thought they were going to ease it back in. Like, obviously, we need someone with a physical presence up front. I understand. But my whole thing is, we don't use these players properly. I think he can work with these wingers. Like, he's actually more suited to these wingers than most of other strikers that we've had in terms of link-up play and holding the ball up, drawing defenders in for wingers to run in spaces behind. But we don't use that. As soon as the ball goes into Fulcrum, everyone wants the ball short. The midfielders want the ball short, and the wingers want the ball short. Even he wants the ball short. No one's running in behind. Apart from Bowen at times. Bowen at times is running in behind. But we don't run in behind enough. We don't stretch the pitch. We don't stretch teams. Because if you stretch teams and you run in behind, you're making space for other players on the pitch. Like, we all know this. But for some reason, these lot don't. These lot don't know this. In terms of the manager. Because everyone wants the ball short. Even the fullbacks. Like, what I don't get is they only overlap when they have to. They only overlap when they really have to. We put the ball out wide to the fullbacks. No one in the middle was going to receive the ball. It's just the wingers. So we're just knocking it down the line, losing the ball, turnover. If you want to play possession-based football, you got to play through the middle. You got to play through the middle. You have to. You have to be brave. When you play through the middle, you create chances. That's why we did well against City. That's why we did well against Ipswich. That's why we did well in the last 40 against United. Like, that's what our best performance is, really. That's why we did well against Newcastle. Probably our best performance. We played through the middle. I don't get why we can't play through. I know Soler wasn't here, but we can play football without Soler. Just the coaching. We're so undercoached. Like, just on and off the ball. We are really bad at the press. Only Bowen was really trying. I don't get why Bowen still tries to press, because all season, only I've seen him point at other players. You need to come with me to press. And they don't do it. Why is it all the time we have to see this half-hearted press as well? It's like Wasim as well. Like, you're right. We don't coach it. Like, they don't coach the press either. They don't coach the press. They coach to stay high up the pitch and cut off the passing lanes. But you can't do that high up the pitch because they'll just play 1 or 2 passes through you. The tactics are one-dimensional, but the tactics are... There might not even be one dimension to this tactics. It's not even a dimension. It's half a dimension. It's dementia. It's one dementia. It's not even the dimension. Because here's the thing: Bowen's pointing at other people to press. He presses. No one follows up. So that can't be, for me, an individual thing. That's an instruction. Because I don't know. I don't think these players don't want to press. But they've been told not to do it. They've been told to just stay there high up the pitch and then do fuck all. I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, it's tiring to watch. It's tiring because, like, we're not ever in control of a game. We're never in control of a game. We try to see out a 1-1 draw to Brighton at home. For our tactics to work, they need to make a mistake. Yeah, like, you need to at least put yourself in a position to take a risk. You need to play through teams, not around them. If you play around teams, you won't get around them. You might get the odd cross, you might get a corner. But we can't play for set pieces and throw-ins and the odd shot on target, or not even the odd shot on target, the odd shot, because we don't get shots on target. We barely let off enough shots to even get a shot on target. Any footballing side will play for us, which is probably 18 of the other sides of the Prem. True. You're spot on. You're spot on, because Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, even fucking Palace, like Southampton even, if they are playing possession-based football again, like, these teams play for it. Like, Brighton are a possession-based team, they're a footballing side, but they just weren't good today. They got their lineup all wrong because they played a midfielder on the right. So they only had Mitoma to really run at us against Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and Wan-Bissaka deals with them. And speaking of Wan-Bissaka, that's the one positive I can take from today. It's him. It's him. He's the only positive, like, him and Fabianski at the end, only real positives I can take. Like everyone on the pitch, apart from Mavropanos and Soufal, offered positives, but also offered negatives as well. But again, I put that more down to the coaching, the fact that everyone's not playing to their highest standard, that everyone made a mistake today. Like, Wan-Bissaka, he's nearly borderline been flawless all season. Like, when it comes to him in possession, he's done well. When it comes to 1v1 defending, he only got beat once by Pedro, and that was it. He had Mitoma a lot. He makes wingers overthink. He makes wingers overthink their scheming, trying to go 1v1. Like, he is making people worry. I saw it with Man United with Garnacho. I see it with him, with Mitoma. I've seen it with plenty of players that have come up against Wan-Bissaka. They don't know what to do. They're lost. They're lost because it was like with Semenyo. Semenyo came up against Wan-Bissaka. Like, what did he do? They should have swapped wings. Threw himself in our goal to prevent Brighton winning the game, though. Yeah, that last ditch I had was brilliant. I thought he got knocked out cold trying to do that as well. Like, him and Fabianski saved us at the end. Saved us, proper saved us, because they had chances where they should have put it away, don't get me wrong. But honestly, he put his body on the line. If it wasn't for Wan-Bissaka, where the hell would we be right now? We'd probably be deeper in a relegation battle. Because everyone saw Soufal come on, got skinned instantly, and it didn't help the structure of the team. Him being the right centre back or whatever the hell we were trying to do today. When he came, I don't know why he keeps making that sub. Mitoma skipped past him. He was probably relieved he didn't have to always come up against Wan-Bissaka 1v1. He put his body on the line. He tackled really well. He took people on. Made a couple rash passes, but that was it. If I'm being nitpicky. Fabianski, his kicking was actually good today. Fabianski's kicking was good today. What a relief. He still took too long to release the ball with his hands, because he always does. Don't know why the guy thinks we're winning, even though it's 1-1 or we're 1-0 down or whatever. But he saved the game at the end as well. Him and Wan-Bissaka, like, it made crucial saves. I think it was the same with his leg. I can't remember who it was, where Ferguson somehow took the ball down and laid it off for someone. I think it was Mente or Pedro. I can't remember who it was. And he saved it with his legs. I thought that was in. There was also one that was nearly an own goal where the Brighton fans celebrated. I had the angle of seeing the away fans today. They celebrated because I thought it was in as well. I think it went off Soufal or Mavropanos, or not Mavropanos. It went off Soufal or someone, and it went off the post. I thought that went in. We were very, very lucky What's it? To go out there 1-1. We were lucky in the end, and we had them in the first 20 minutes. But that's what was very uncharacteristic. We started well. We started well. We was on top of them. Pause. But then after that, back to normal West Ham this season. Back to normal West Ham. Fab's kicking distribution was awful, but he did make some decent stops at the end. I thought his kicking was fine. In terms of his normal distribution, when he's under pressure, he has to kick the ball back. That's the same old Fabianski. But his kicking to Fulcrook was fine in the first half anyway. In the second half, it dipped. But the saves at the end was what made it. Like, we still need a new goalkeeper. Don't get me wrong. We need a new goalkeeper for next year. Because neither goalkeeper have been at the level, more so Areola than Fabianski. But still, he did his job today. He did his job well. He saved us. And listen, I like it, Fabianski. I just think he's very under-criticized of what he should be criticized of. Because everyone criticized Areola for the same thing. And nobody keeps the same energy for Fabianski. But he saved us today. I'm a man who gives credit where it's due. Souček turned Spanish in the second half. This guy was laying off decent passes. I'm pretty sure it was Souček's pass for the Kudus goal that put Bowen through. It was a great pass. It was a great pass. We were dynamic up front when Somerville came on, to a sense, but we still didn't have no presence up front because Bowen isn't a striker. We just had three fast people running, but we didn't. There was no cohesiveness still. There was no way of creating chances. We still don't know what we're doing on the pitch. We're just going off individual moments. Question: does this buy Lopetegui more time? Are we seeing any change in our play? I don't think we're seeing any change in our play. No. It buys more time for Lopetegui under the ownership because these results just prolong the inevitable. And we know what Sullivan's like, typically. For me, no. This change is not... It's just as one-dimensional as it was at the start of the season. Passing sideways, losing the ball in the wide areas and get hit on transition. And we're just seeing individuals sometimes perform well because they are who they are in terms of the quality they proceed to have. But in the general play, in long term, week in, week out, we don't see the same player week in, week out because they are not coached. They're not coached on the ball or off the ball. Yeah, there you go. Evening, people. Shout out to Ams as well. Shout out to Ams. Hope you're doing well. And I think for Southampton, we still beat them because against Newcastle, how did we perform? Against Newcastle, how did we perform? Against Leicester, how did we perform? I'm not Leicester. Wolves. We didn't perform well. We got the result. We got the result over the line. Against Southampton, we're going to get the result over the line, and that's what will keep him in for another month. Every win he gets, he will be kept in for another month, or kept in for another 2 weeks. He's not going anywhere anytime soon, even though he should. Even though he should have gone after, for me, I said game week 5, even though it sounds ridiculous. I saw it then. I saw what was happening from then. I've seen nothing that has progressed. I've seen nothing. There's nothing that's progressed at this club. Yeah, I think he's here to the end of the season. I said in my match reaction in my fan cam, he's here until 2026. 2026 summer. The reason why I say this, he's not going to be shit enough because of other teams in the league. He's not going to be shit enough to drag us deep in the relegation battle for them to actually pull the plug. And also, I'm pretty sure he has 2 years left. So what happens here? They'll revise at the end of the season, and they'll still keep him. And then, at the end of next season, will be when his contract runs out. His contract runs out then. They'll just see his contract out because Sullivan doesn't want to pay anything. So we're here until the end of 2026. At the end of the 2025-26 season. Shout out to Richard as well. Hope you're doing well, bro. Guess it will come down to results / fan reaction, etc. It should have probably a long time ago. Like the fans are done. Like the fans are done with this manager. Like in real life, the fans are like. There's some fans that are trying to pull out like small positives, but most of the fans on the ground are done with him. For me, like results. If it was based on results, he would have been gone by now. I don't feel like we're going to go on a run of losses. I feel like this is what we are. This is now what we are. Unfortunately, I don't want us to be like this, but we're just going to be constantly 14th. Shout to Musty, big up, like and sub. Uh, I'm not singing that. But shout out to yourself, Musty. This is what we are till 2026 probably, and then we'll probably hire someone else that's just as dog shit. On a free, on a cheap. I can't believe I'm gonna have to put up with this for another season, probably for the rest of this season and another season. I'll be real with you guys, yeah, as well. There is no point in talking about transfer news and transfer business and all the hypothetical players we may get in when this manager's in charge. There's no point. There's no point because this manager doesn't get the best out of good players. He's still playing Mohamed Kudus on the left. He's still putting Tadibo and Somerville on the bench because he fell out with Tadibo or whatever. We saw how Mavropanos played today compared to how Tadibo played. We can see the significant upgrade. Tadibo is built like a brick shithouse, but he's good on the ball. He's fast. He's good in the air. There's not much to dislike about him. But he plays the squarehead brick shithouse that isn't good on the ball. That overplays with the ball. Isn't a good passer. It's only a good defender in a low block. That's Mavropanos. But he plays him over to Debo. Who you got next, Mike? Shout out to Mustafa. Southampton away. Southampton away. I thought Paquetá was poor again. Even was miffed that he was sub. Plus, he is suspended for Southampton. I thought he was more fine defensively than he was on the ball. He needed to do better on the ball today. To be honest, this wasn't the worst I've seen him, funny enough. But I didn't think he was great. I thought he was better than he has been, but that's kind of not saying much, as we've said, with just a general performance stage as well. Like, I can't be bothered with this club anymore. Like, this is my problem. Like, how many times are we gonna have to see this over and over and over again before he leaves? Southampton can win. I say something on Lopetegui, Mike. Yeah, it probably is. I tried to watch the West Ham game today, but I got bored after 20 minutes. Yeah, I was there. Unfortunately, we was only good for the first 20. We was only good for the first 20 minutes anyway. So there you are. There you are. This is kind of the problem now. Look, we're just in an endless cycle. I tried to say this in this Brighton preview. By the way, I will have a watch along for the Southampton game. Unfortunately. Yeah, at least the boxing's on today. Yeah, I think it's starting at like 11:20 or some shit. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that at least. That can take my mind off West Ham. But I'm looking at it coming up to January now. I'm not even looking at us having to spend anything. I don't think we should be looking at spending anything at this current moment in time. Wasting money on a manager that isn't a good enough coach. So he's not going to get the best out of the players that he wants anyway. And he wanted all these players. So we need a rebuild. We just need a new manager. We don't need a massive rebuild. We just need to build on this squad. But we just need another coach. Usyk Fury predictions, Mike. I'm gonna say Usyk on points. I'm gonna say same result. Usyk on points. I don't think there's going to be a stoppage. Frank did literally run another club into the ground. We'll see what happens with Everton. I don't know where we go from here. But I don't know if anyone's trying to find positives out of this. Like, apart from Ollie Scholes getting some minutes, which he did okay when he came on. He did okay. Did some good things. Did some bad things. Should have been physically better against Minte for one of the challenges. He's good on the ball. Very patient, tries to be creative, tries to get down the line. He doesn't get beat 1v1 defensively, which is good as well. I'm not saying he's outstanding. I'm not saying he's Wan-Bissaka level, but he doesn't have any fear when coming onto the pitch. He grows into his own sort of thing. And I want him to get more minutes. I think he could compete with Emerson as a squad player and be the long-term replacement for Cresswell. And I think that'll be our left back thing sorted for me. I think I've always said he's good enough. I've always said he can be good enough, and he's one of the better ones out of the whole group. So I'm gonna take a closer look because I've been watching him for a couple of years now, and I think now it's his time. We've got Potts coming through, Earthy coming through, both doing well on loan in the Championship. Cadeau and Marshall doing well in League One. I think Potts and Earthy can really play a part next season as well. So we'll see with them, but that will take up a couple of the positions that we need sorting, and that will allow us to not spend as much money on those individual positions, but on position we actually need next season, which is striker and goalkeeper and another centre back to compete with the centre backs that we have, and probably two to be honest, because I think we should sell Mavropanos, but whatever. We need a number 8 in my opinion as well. I would love us to, if the hopefully the rumours are true about getting Soler, because I would actually like to keep Soler. So there you go. Big up AK as well. Big up AK as well. Yeah, we'll discuss City another time. And I'll discuss the Everton Chelsea game on Monday as well. We've got the Monday show, Alfie, and we're sure we'll discuss everything Premier League related to the other teams on Monday, people. But I'm looking at my club now and I'm thinking, cool, you're bringing through youngsters. You're bringing through certain players. You've got people that could compete in two players that could compete in each position, from goalkeeper to striker. But all of this is being managed under this manager. All of them. So does it really make a difference? I don't know how this guy's still in a job. This guy shouldn't be in a job. He shouldn't be in a job. Why is he still here? Like why? Like why is he actually still here? It's so painful to watch us. It's painful. I don't know what we are. I don't know what we are as a club. I don't know what we are on the pitch. I don't know what we're trying to do on and off the ball. These players look worse than they did last season, the players that were still here. The new signings are playing well individually, but we're not playing well cohesively as a team. We haven't won 2 games in a row once this season. We've won 5 games. And this manager is still here. Yeah, Richard, we'll discuss Everton another time, mate. So what is going on? What the fuck is going on? This is all being missed. Like, this is another squad wasted at West Ham, but this is even worse because it's the best squad that I've seen in my lifetime at West Ham. In my lifetime. This is by far the best squad. It's like I always refer back to the Bando house and the car and the Lamborghini. He's the Bando house. Lopetegui is the Bando house. How many times? But this car's being put with him, the whole squad. But he's not a good driver. He's driving it into a shithole. What is the point? I don't understand. I want to understand the logic going into this from the chairman. You generally want to give them time. Give him time to see the whole thing in his image. What exactly do you think that is? What do you think that is? Because we are slow. We don't progress the ball. No one shows for the ball. We don't play a high tempo. We don't attack well. We don't defend well. So what is there to trust for the long term? What are we good at as a team that you can see that doesn't involve just a certain individual grabbing a game by the scruff of the neck in one moment? Because the reason why we're not lower than we actually are right now is because the league is terrible. That's why we beat teams like Wolves. That's why we beat teams like Ipswich. Because some of these teams are around us, but we're above them. But these lot are getting new managers because they're below us, like Wolves and Southampton. Glasner was under a bit of pressure. He kind of scuffled that with one win. Like what I don't get is what is the image of a Lopetegui team? What is a Lopetegui team? I don't know what it is. West Ham is good at disappointing their fans. Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. Your thoughts are with the Lopetegui family, with his father passing away. I like when I'm watching this team. Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know whether we're going to turn up. I don't know what to expect in terms of tactics, lineups. I don't know who's going to turn up individually. And I don't know where we sit here for the long term, because if we're not careful, they will all leave. They're all going to leave. Shout out to Prime as well. Hope you're doing well, bro. Hope you're doing well. Because Kudus was always going to leave like next year, probably. I know people keep trying to do this January rumor stuff. It's not happening. Because always we'll charge over 100 million for him, because the ball is in our park and he's not going to throw away. Throw the toys away. Throw the toys out the pram, or whatever the fucking phrase is called. But he's got 85 million release clause next season, next summer. So cool, that will be triggered. We're good at replacing. We're good at recruiting. We're good at recruiting players. We're good at planning, squad planning now, because the owner's not involved in that. But the owner's still involved in picking a manager. Yeah, Moyes did a good job, but it just went stale. It went stale. But we're good at replacing players in advance. So Guilherme is one of the players that we've replaced in advance, whether Paquetá could have leaves, because he can play on the wing and in the number 10 as well. Striker, we need a proper striker. We need another striker anyway. We've needed a striker with or without the Antonio situation, and with or without Fulkirk anyway. We probably needed two, but we had a lot of position we need to address in the summer with the certain prices that we had within each individual player. We could have spent 40 million on each individual player, which is why when people talk about Duran, they were never going to fucking sell him. There was about 8 clubs interested. Who can we get to replace Lopetegui? There's three managers on the market. Like there's Conceição, there's Sarri, there's Potter. So if they want a cheap option, they could go and do that. What an actual club would do: get the director of football to run it. Get the director of football to run all the footballing decisions, and let them pay compensation. And you will allow yourself to pay compensation with the choice of manager that they have. But they're not going to do that. So if they want a cheap option, go Sarri, Conceição, Potter, whoever out of the three. I don't care. As long as it's not someone that's just as identityless as Lopetegui. I'm not one of these people, by the way, that'll be like, anyone but Lopetegui. Not literally anyone. Because it's like last season, anyone but Moyes. No, not anyone. Because that's how we ended up with Lopetegui in the fucking first place. Anyone but this manager. Anyone. No, not anyone. Have a certain amount of targets that you can have a look at that actually fit the style of play with the players, that can get the best out of what we have. The problem with this stupid dwarf in charge upstairs is that he only wants to give people 6 months until the end of the season anyway, as an interim. What actual manager wants to take a job as an interim? You've got to be some form of idiots to even have that come to your head. Probably AI can run the club better. I agree. AI probably could run again. Joy probably should take his job. Do you think Estupinian should have got a red? I saw the challenge back on Twitter like a few minutes before the stream. I think that is a red. I think based on what I've seen been given as a red, more times this season, I think they need to be a bit more consistent with that. But I'm not too mad at it. Like, it is what it is. You should have made the challenge, but you win some, you lose some when it comes to decisions. Wool should have had like 2 penalties against us. But I'm not too bothered about it, to be honest, because we probably still wouldn't have beat them. Even if they had 10 men, they probably still would have controlled the ball better, played around with the play better, kept the tempo going with 10 men. They've done it before against us. Yeah, swings and roundabouts, mate. Like, when it comes to footballing decisions, like it comes to like referee decisions, some go against you, some go for you. Here's what it is. Should we got a red? Probably. But it is what it is. As long as Kilman's not injured, it's calm. But what this says for us in the long term, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. I just think it keeps us to 14th place. We're probably going to finish at 14th or 13th or 12th, probably at max 11th at the end of the season. And I said 10th at the start of play. So I'm sure the excuse will be, well, you said 10th and we finished 11th or whatever, so it's not that far off. Well, I didn't see a start of play all season. I'm definitely not going to see a start of play anyway. Because I feel like any manager with a pre-season with a new club, and it's like, what, 5-6 months in, they would have a start of play by now that would have progressed somewhat. They would have. They would have a pattern. We have no pattern. But anyway, I'm going to end it there, people. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like on the stream. Subscribe if you're new. I have a match reaction to Tottenham Liverpool tomorrow. Have the show with Alfie on Monday, and I think Tuesday will be the match preview for Southampton West Ham. I don't remember what day Christmas is. But yeah, I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.